Urgent news for anyone who is currently trapped in the exhausting cycle of belly fat. Stop running right now. Stop the punishing HIIT workouts. Stop starving yourself on the treadmill. If you are struggling with a stubborn waistline that refuses to shrink, no matter how hard you try, you are fighting a biological war with the wrong weapons. And I am here to tell you a ruthless truth that the billion-dollar fitness industry has been desperately trying to hide from you. Your belly is not just fat. It is a biological vault of locked-in stress. It is hardened, stuck right there on your waistline, and no amount of crunches will touch it. No crash diet will move it. You have been told for years that losing belly fat is a simple math equation. Eat less, move more, push harder. So you tried that. You aggressively cut your calories. You started exercising until you felt sick. You pushed yourself to the absolute limit. And that belly is still there, still stubborn, still making you feel like something is fundamentally, irreparably wrong with your body. Listen to me very carefully. Nothing is wrong with you. You are not lazy and you are not undisciplined. Your body is functioning exactly as it was designed to. The problem, the real enemy, is the signal your body is receiving. And that signal is a hormone called cortisol. Today, we are going to dismantle the biological mechanics of cortisol, expose the traps you have fallen into, and I will give you the physiological reset button, a protocol to destroy that belly fat once and for all. Welcome to the real science of your body. If you want the raw truth without the fluff, hit that subscribe button right now. Let's get to work. Cortisol is your primary stress hormone. It is a powerful biochemical messenger produced by your adrenal glands every single time your brain perceives a threat. Here is the horrifying reality of modern life. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a real physical danger, like a tiger chasing you, and a psychological threat, like a stressful email from your boss, a bad night of sleep, financial pressure, or mindlessly scrolling through upsetting news at midnight. To your nervous system, stress is stress. Stress means cortisol, and cortisol means belly fat. Let's break down the molecular biology of exactly how this trap works. When cortisol enters your bloodstream, it signals your liver to immediately release stored glucose. It is preparing you for a fight or flight emergency by flooding your system with fast energy. Naturally, that spikes your blood sugar. In response, your pancreas panics and releases a massive wave of insulin. And insulin's primary job is to take that excess energy and store it specifically as fat. But here is the craziest part: the biological design that is actively working against you. Belly fat has significantly more cortisol receptors than any other fat tissue in your body. Cortisol literally targets your waistline directly. It is a highly efficient biological storage mechanism designed to keep you alive during a famine or a war. But in a modern chronic stress world, it is an absolute disaster. And it doesn't stop there. Cortisol does far more damage than just aggressively storing fat. It is a catabolic hormone, meaning it actively breaks down your muscle tissue to use for immediate energy. Muscle is your body's primary calorie-burning machine. Less muscle means a slower metabolic rate, which means more fat accumulation, even if you are eating almost nothing. Furthermore, cortisol hijacks your hunger hormones. It dramatically increases ghrelin, the hormone that screams at your brain to eat, while simultaneously suppressing leptin, the hormone that tells you when you are full. The result? You feel ravenously, uncontrollably hungry all day. You never feel satisfied. And you specifically crave sugar, refined carbs, and fatty comfort foods, because your brain is desperately seeking fast, cheap energy to deal with the continuous threat it thinks exists. You are eating in a state of biological panic. This is the exact trap that catches almost every beginner. You look in the mirror, decide to lose weight, and you aggressively restrict your calories while starting an intense daily workout regimen. But extreme calorie restriction is a massive physical stressor that skyrockets your cortisol levels, and grinding through a brutal exercise routine when you are already stressed, exhausted, and sleep-deprived pushes your cortisol even higher. The harder you try using conventional methods, the worse the cortisol problem gets. You work harder, you feel worse, your belly holds tighter, your frustration grows, and the stress compounds. You cannot out-exercise or out-diet a cortisol problem. You have to fix the root cause. You have to stop fighting the symptoms and start healing the system. So, let's look at the science-backed solutions. The single most powerful, transformative thing you can do for belly fat as a beginner is not adding more cardio. It is fixing your sleep. Here is the clinical data. A landmark study from the University of Chicago took two groups of people on the exact same diet and the exact same calorie deficit. The group sleeping 8.5 hours lost fat, but the group sleeping only 5.5 hours lost 55% less fat. Let me repeat that, 55% less fat on the exact same diet. When you sleep less than 7 hours, your cortisol the next day is measurably elevated, your ghrelin increases by 28%, and your leptin drops by 18%. You wake up hungry, stay hungry, and your body refuses to let go of fat. To reset this system, you must establish a strict sleep-wake cycle. Go to bed and wake up at the exact same time every single day, including weekends. Your cortisol rhythm is deeply tied to consistency. Sleep in a completely dark, cool room. Stop all screens for 45 minutes before bed, because blue light destroys melatonin production and keeps your nervous system trapped in alert mode. Stop eating 2 to 3 hours before sleep so your insulin can drop, allowing your body to enter a deep, restorative repair mode overnight. These changes alone, without any other intervention, will begin to shift your belly fat within 2 to 3 weeks. The second, non-negotiable strategy for beginners is correcting your morning routine. Most people spike their cortisol before the day has even started. The moment they open their eyes, they immediately reach for their phone, emails, notifications, social media. This instantly activates the stress response, triggering low-level panic. Then, they drink a massive cup of coffee on an empty stomach, which significantly amplifies cortisol production. They rush through their morning, setting a high cortisol baseline that literally colors the entire rest of the day. This is a biochemical disaster for your waistline. Instead, within 30 minutes of waking up, you must get outside for 10 minutes of natural sunlight. Morning sunlight directly sets your circadian clock, stabilizing your cortisol rhythm so it peaks correctly in the morning and falls correctly at night. It also boosts serotonin, your mood-stabilizing neurotransmitter. This one habit is free, takes 10 minutes, and has profound systemic effects on your hormonal balance throughout the entire day. Do not check your phone for at least 20 minutes after waking. Eat a breakfast built around protein and healthy fats, eggs, avocado, nuts, Greek yogurt to stabilize your blood sugar immediately and prevent the cortisol spike that comes from low morning glucose. Have your coffee with food, not before. The third strategy, the one that the fitness industry hates talking about, is choosing the right exercise. And for cortisol-dominant beginners, the absolute gold standard is walking. I know this sounds too simple, but it is not. Walking is low enough intensity that it does not spike cortisol. Instead, it actively lowers it. It burns fat directly as its primary fuel source. It dramatically improves insulin sensitivity, and crucially, it is sustainable, which means you will actually do it long term. A study in the Journal of Exercise Nutrition and Biochemistry showed that women who walked 50 to 70 minutes 3 times per week for 12 weeks experienced significant, measurable reductions in visceral belly fat. Aim for 7,000 to 10,000 steps daily. 10-minute walks spread throughout your day, morning, lunch break, evening, are infinitely more effective for cortisol management than one brutal, intense hour-long workout followed by sitting at a desk for 12 hours. After 3 to 4 weeks of consistent walking, add 2 days per week of moderate resistance training, bodyweight squats, lunges, push-ups, and resistance band rows. This is essential to rebuild the muscle tissue that cortisol has been breaking down and to reactivate your metabolism. Keep these sessions to 30 to 40 minutes and the intensity should be moderate. You should feel energized afterward, not destroyed. If you feel physically wrecked, shaking, and exhausted after a workout, it is too intense for your current cortisol situation, and it is actively making the belly fat problem worse. The fourth pillar is eating to lower cortisol, not just obsessively cutting calories. Extreme restriction raises cortisol. Skipping meals raises cortisol. Every single time your blood sugar drops significantly, your brain treats it as an emergency and releases cortisol to restore glucose. For most people, this crash happens 3 to 5 times a day because of long gaps between meals or eating refined carbs alone. This creates a constant, low-level cortisol drip that keeps belly fat stubbornly locked in place. Build every single meal around protein. Protein stabilizes blood sugar, reduces hunger hormones, preserves muscle, and burns the most calories during digestion. Target 25 to 35 grams per meal. Eggs, chicken, fish, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese. Add healthy fats like avocado, olive oil, nuts, and fatty fish. The omega-3 fatty acids found in salmon, sardines, walnuts, and flax seeds have been specifically shown in rigorous clinical research to directly reduce cortisol levels and decrease visceral fat accumulation. Include moderate amounts of complex carbohydrates like sweet potatoes, oats, quinoa, or brown rice, but always pair them with protein and fat so your blood sugar rises slowly rather than spiking. Remove the cortisol triggers from your diet immediately. Refined sugar causes violent blood sugar spikes followed by crashes, each one triggering a cortisol surge. Ultra-processed foods promote systemic inflammation that keeps cortisol chronically elevated. And alcohol, while it feels relaxing in the moment, significantly elevates cortisol the following day and destroys the deep sleep quality you desperately need for hormonal balance. One simple, almost miraculous addition worth making. 1 teaspoon of raw apple cider vinegar in water before your main meals. Research shows this simple habit reduces post-meal blood sugar spikes by up to 34%. Less blood sugar spike means less insulin, less cortisol, and less belly fat storage. It is that simple and that effective. The final strategy is active daily stress reduction. This is not some soft, optional lifestyle luxury for someone trying to lose cortisol belly fat. It is the core of the plan. No diet and no exercise program will produce lasting belly fat loss if your cortisol stays chronically elevated. You have to bring it down directly. Diaphragmatic breathing is the fastest cortisol intervention available to you anywhere, anytime. Inhale slowly for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 6 to 8 counts. This specific breathing pattern directly activates your vagus nerve, the main switch of your parasympathetic nervous system, and measurably drops cortisol within minutes. 5 minutes of this in the morning and 5 minutes before bed every single day will produce a noticeable difference in your stress levels, your sleep, and your belly within 2 to 3 weeks. It sounds too simple. Do it anyway. Spending time outdoors in green spaces has been shown in multiple controlled studies to measurably reduce cortisol, lower blood pressure, and reduce inflammatory markers. Even 20 minutes in a park 3 times per week produces significant effects. This is a legitimate medical intervention. Get outside every day, even briefly. Furthermore, severely limit your news and social media consumption. Your brain processes online conflict, outrage content, and disturbing news as real threats, triggering small cortisol responses each time across dozens of daily scrolling sessions. This creates a meaningful, chronic cortisol elevation. Set specific times to check your phone rather than reaching for it constantly. 2 supplements have genuine, peer-reviewed clinical research behind them for this specific problem. Ashwagandha, specifically the KSM-66 extract, was shown in a 2019 randomized controlled trial to reduce cortisol by 23% and significantly reduce body weight and waist circumference over 60 days compared to a placebo. It works by modulating your HPA axis, making your stress response less reactive overall. The second is magnesium glycinate. Most people are magnesium deficient, and magnesium is required for proper cortisol regulation. Taking 300 to 400 milligrams before bed profoundly improves sleep quality, reduces nighttime cortisol, lowers anxiety, and decreases fasting insulin levels over time. This is the entire system. No suffering, no extremes, no destroying yourself in the gym. Just an intelligent, consistent approach that addresses the actual biological cause of your belly fat, cortisol, instead of just violently fighting the symptom. Here is what your results timeline looks like when you follow this protocol. In week 1, your bloating decreases noticeably. Your energy becomes stable and your sleep improves drastically. By week 2, your cravings calm down significantly because ghrelin and leptin are rebalancing. By weeks 3 and 4, your waistline begins to visibly change. Your clothes fit differently, and the stubborn puffiness starts going down. By weeks 6 to 8, the belly fat reduction is undeniable, and your overall energy, mood, and mental clarity have completely transformed alongside it. By month 3, the results are significant and permanent because you changed the fundamental hormonal environment inside your body, rather than just temporarily restricting food. You were never lazy. You were never undisciplined. You were just fighting the wrong battle with the wrong tools. The battle was never against fat. It was against cortisol. And now you have everything you need to win it. Start tonight. Sleep on time. Wake up without your phone. Eat to stabilize. Walk daily. Breathe deeply. Get outside. Let your body heal, and the fat will finally let go.